Hi, everybody. I'm clearly not Stan again. We'll get started in just a minute. People are still joining us. Let me let everybody in. Here we go. All right, I think I'm not seeing anybody else in the waiting room. So I think, yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Just like okay, cool. Thank you. I'm in a beautiful New Orleans, sitting in a hotel room. Gonna go poolside shortly, just saying. But I did want to get our meeting started because I do want to respect everybody's time while we are getting started. Happy Monday, y'all. All right, I'm gonna add these last couple of folks that have come in. And then we'll do a real quick round of introductions, and then we'll get started if that's okay. All right, why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm just going to add people as they come in. My name is Kimberly Haven. I am the policy lead for From Prison Cells to PhD. I'm I guess the lead administrator for Unlock Higher Ed. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And I'm just going to kind of popcorn it so I can keep letting people in, and I'll popcorn to Stephanie.
Hi everyone, Stephanie Gaskill. Currently working with the Mississippi Humanities Council and starting a statewide consortium of higher ed and prison in Mississippi.
All right, Sheila, how about you? I'm just going to call on y'all.
That works.
Okay.
I'm Sheila Myman from Raritan Valley Community College in New Jersey.
Great, thank you. Jonathan?
Jonathan Blyways, founder, executive director of the Florida Justice Center. We're a legal aid organization, and I'm a formerly incarcerated leader.
Wonderful. Margaret?
Hi, everyone. Margaret Tizerga, director of the Unlocking Potential Initiative at the Vera Institute of Justice. Good to see you all.
Judith?
Hi, everyone. I'm Judith here from Miami, Florida. I'm the founder for the Freedom Glow. It's a reentry program for systems impacted individuals.
Mark?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark. I'm part of Project Rebound in California, former lifer in the state of California, served 21 and a half years. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here today.
Terrific. Basha?
Good morning. My name is Basha. I work at St. Patrick's Center in St. Louis, Missouri as a workforce development case manager. And I also serve as a program analyst and consultant for Prison to PhD, P2P. And I too am a formerly incarcerated woman. Good to see you all.
Terrific. Bradley?
Hi, everyone. I'm Bradley Custer on the higher education policy team at the Center for American Progress in Washington, D.C.
Terrific. Luis? You're muted, Luis.
Oh, here we go. You can hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, my name is Louis Matei Jr. I'm actually formerly incarcerated, still in a halfway house. I just was released a week and a half ago. I did 19 and a half years in prison, and I'm a student of Dr. Erin Corbett, one of her scholars, and good to meet all of you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Jessica?
Hi, I'm Jessica Snow. I'm a justice impacted woman here in Maryland. I am a communications associate for P2P and also for the Education Justice Project.
Fabulous. James?
Hello, everyone. My name is James Elliott. I'm a summer intern with Unlocking Potential, Vera Institute of Justice, rising senior at Columbia University, and formerly incarcerated as well.
Terrific. Satra?
Hello, everyone. I am Satcha Taylor. I'm the lead of organizational effectiveness and impact at Operation Restoration, and I have my colleague joining me.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sharia Lane, and I'm the higher education lead for Operation Restoration.
And welcome home, Lou. I don't know if you remember me, but I was at Ed Trust when we did the panel. It was good to see you.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Satra. Mansi.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mancy Thompson, and I am the program director for P2P. Welcome and congratulations. Hey, Kim.
Thanks. Odell.
Hello, everyone. My name is Odell Johnson. I am in Little Rock, Arkansas, UAMS, University of Arkansas Medical Sciences, focused on criminal justice research.
Fabulous. Thank you. Taylor.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, my internet is lagging today, but I'm Taylor. I work with Emilio, and I'm their program director for prison education.
Fabulous. Erin.
Hey, everyone. Erin Corbett, CEO, co-founder of Second Chance Educational Alliance, primetime bugger of Lou Matei Jr., and director of the Quinnipiac University Prison Project, and executive team member of the Jami Sisterhood Project convener for Project Freedom. And I think that's about half of what I do, so I'll leave it there.
And Eric, I'm hoping that I said your name correctly.
That's great. Yeah, thank you, Stanley. My name is Eirik Steinhoff. I'm a member of the faculty at the Evergreen State College here in Olympia, Washington. My apologies for having my camera off. Very low bandwidth up here where I'm living. So I've done some work with the Bard Prison Initiative before I moved out to the West Coast, and I've also worked at Evergreen with Gateways for Incarcerated Youth. This is a kind of inside-out program at a youth prison about half hour south of us on campus that was founded 25 years ago. And I also collaborate with the Sustainability in Prisons Project, which is based at the Evergreen State College. Really glad to be here to listen and learn and catch up with all the good work that all the good people on this call have been doing.
Terrific. Thank you so much. I don't think that I missed anybody, but if I did, speak now, but I think I got everybody. I actually did that right. Terrific. Okay. I want to be respectful of people's times. Margaret, I wanted to kind of jump to you real quick. Any updates that we need to be aware of that Vera is working on? Any response to the letters?
I guess two things just to mention, and I can send this. Let me think if I have a link that I can put in the chat in a second. But IPEDS, which is a big data set that colleges report into, they have their public comment period open regarding how colleges are going to include data for students who are incarcerated. So I don't have a ton to say about it because on my plane ride today, I'm going to read through the public comment notice that they published, but I can put the link in the chat. So if folks want to look into that, they can.
Okay.
And then, the date a lot of people have been waiting on is, when the Department of Education is going to open up the public comment period for the notice of proposed rulemaking, which would pertain to the whole FAFSA Simplification Act and Pell Reinstatement for All. That is not yet out, but, we'll certainly share, or I'm sure others will share too once that goes live, but probably, oh, thanks, James. Probably, yeah, sometime this summer, but I don't know exactly when.
Oh, okay. So you haven't heard anything yet. Okay.
I know it's moving, but I don't know when it's coming.
All right. We had two people join us that I want to give them a brief second to introduce themselves. Mockley.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Mockley with P2P, Policy Advocacy and Outreach. And was that it, Kim?
Yeah, we're just doing quick introductions.
Okay, all right, cool.
And Shannon joined us.
Hey everybody, just nursing a torn Achilles here. Shannon Ross with the community in Wisconsin.
Great, thank you. And Michelle Daniel joined us.
For everybody, Michelle Daniel Jones, Constructing Our Future, Indianapolis.
Wonderful, thank you so very much. I think what we wanted to focus on, I know what we wanted to focus on today, was the conversation that the steering committee has been involved in, that we have been talking largely to folks about, is building out and we'll also, the information that's in the chat, the links and things that are being dropped in, we'll also send out to everybody who registered and wasn't able to join us and also was part of the Unlock Higher Ed. But we're building out the organization and the organizational structure so that we can actually be responsive to, as Margaret said, when the public comment piece opens up, we can make sure that the information is shared. But again, it's a big endeavor. It's a very heavy lift. We need lots of hands. And so we've been circulating information to folks about committees and joining the various committees to help us move this work. And so I'm doing shameless plugs for committees and people to get involved with the committees. I know that most of you were on the call last month, and we put out committee notices for state level, for federal level, for general Pell events and media and messaging. And so if you have any interest in participating in any of those committees, please, 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 let me know so that we can get regular meetings set up. Again, not a heavy lift if there's a committee. If it all falls on like individuals, it's a lot. And so I will just leave that here. I also want to open this space before we talk a little further organizationally about any updates that any of you are working on, anything that you have seen in your state, anything that you're aware of, any reports, anything that relates to the work of Unlock Higher Ed. And also this is an opportunity for you to do shameless plugs if you have events or needs or anything else coming up. So I'm just going to not call on anybody. I'm just going to mute myself and let you all talk. Because whatever information you have, let's share it. Whatever resources you have, let's share it. So I'm going to open it up now. Please don't let me hear crickets.
Haha, Stanley, who is Kimberly. This is Erin. If folks are interested in getting together to start planning for their individual state's legislative session, feel free to reach out and let me know. Folks should be on like recess now, but this is exactly the time to start planning your advocacy agendas, as sessions will be starting likely at the top of the year. And so as you're thinking about the level of advocacy of your program or organization, or just individually, feel free to reach out. Kimberly, if you can make sure to include my email in any notes that go out, and I'll also put it in the chat, then we can put something together, and I'll be sure to have Lou on it.
I knew you were going to do that to me.
You already know. You already know. I've already pulled you into 87 things. Michelle, you see Lou? You see Lou? He's going to be on some calls with us.
Yes, I see him. Glad to see him. Glad you're here, brother.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'll give you a quick update of a conversation that some of us on this call and others had last week with the Department of Education. Representatives from the Federal Student Aid Office, which is the unit that administers all of the financial aid, including the student loan program, met with us to talk about incarcerated student borrowers, particularly incarcerated borrowers who are in default on their loans. It was a listening session, which means that the representatives from the Education Department didn't answer any of our questions, and they didn't tell us like even one thing. They didn't say anything to us, but they listened to us. So we had about 45 minutes to share concerns and ideas about how to support student loan borrowers who are incarcerated. So just want to say that that conversation is ongoing. We're going to provide some more guidance to them in writing. And if any of you have insights, ideas, questions, stories about how best to do that, please, you can forward those to me or Terrell or Sheila. There's probably some other people, so that we can be gathering that information to share with the department. Thanks.
Bradley, do you have any sort of like framework that you're looking for, or anything in particular that would be helpful or compelling?
I think at this point, we are trying to get the department to tell us what they're doing with Fresh Start. That's really important. That's like the most immediate thing that's coming. Like, what should we be telling incarcerated borrowers about what's happening in the near future, especially if we're trying to get them enrolled in this year's Second Chance Pell programs. So until we get more information about that, it's hard to know what to do. But certainly if people have ideas on like what they seem to be really sort of interested in was how can we get the student loan companies, the servicers, to communicate properly with incarcerated people? Like, how do we bridge that gap? And I think they're interested in hearing about those barriers and just ideas on how people have done that successfully. So if you have ideas for that, I think that might be like a really tangible piece that we can start to pass on to the department.
So are you thinking like what the effective messenger is that can bridge that? We know what's going on. We have the information to the people that are incarcerated.
Just like, if a person has a student loan and they're in prison, how are they supposed to manage their student loans? How are they supposed to set up their payment plans? How are they supposed to send in those payments? If they have an issue, like, how do we make that communication happen? When the department is doing all of these new things, like they're trying to fix IDR and PSLF and all these other things, how does the Department of Education actually get that communication to the borrowers who are incarcerated? That's the communication barrier that I think we're trying to figure out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think if I can just add one thing, I think we're trying really hard to focus the department on a few things that we desperately need them to take action on. And I will tell you, Bradley throws a good party because he arranged this listening session and managed to get this COO of FSA to come, which is, I think we were all a little bit surprised we had that kind of brass in the room. It was really, and this was an individual who controls most of FSA, who has a long and storied political background, and was shocked to hear that these difficulties are present for our students. I mean, he learned a lot from that call, and I think that was a huge achievement for him to be there.
Do you think he's going to be an ally in this?
He didn't push back, Bradley, right?
That's right. Yeah, he didn't push back. I think he thinks this is a big hill to climb.
Right.
But that doesn't mean there aren't solutions to this problem. And I think he is very, he has a track record of being very tough on the servicers. So he's going to hold them accountable. And if he's hearing that they are not properly supporting a certain population of borrowers, then that's going to be a problem for him. So I just think we have to keep him hearing about this population of borrowers. And I think we'll see some movement on this.
Do we have any idea on the scope of how many people that are incarcerated have student loans, and maybe, again, the currency, I mean, how you're going to pay for it, that's a whole other thing, but that may already be in default of those loans?
Our partners at the Student Borrower Protection Center have tried multiple times and are currently trying to get data on this, and they either get no answer or the answer that such data don't exist. We really don't know how many people currently in prison have a student loan, and then of those, how many are actually in default. Should we know? Yes, but I think we don't. So I think asking those questions helps illuminate the problem that we don't know certain things. And Lou, you've had your hand up. I want to make sure you get it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I get to Lou.
Yeah.
So first of all, my question is, are these student loans that were applied for while incarcerated?
It would have been from before. They would have come into prison with a student loan from when they attended college from before.
No, okay, yeah, because that threw me for a loop for a second just now. But one thing you were talking about what medium could be used to deliver the communication. I know most states, if not all, are utilizing the tablet program now through JPay. And sure, a lot of it is just to spend money for entertainment purposes, but there are other things up there like job searches and things of that nature, things to answer medical questions. If you could find a way to deal with the states and have them utilize the tablet system to implement that communication, it would be more effective because now it's in every borrower's hands and they can deal with it through the interface. But that's also, is the state going to be open to it?
Yeah, and you're right about that being a channel, and we use it educationally, but some of the borrower information that has to go to these students or potential students is very private information.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that we're preventing the display of their private information, financial or otherwise, using any kind of channel that's monitored.
Okay.
And we're trying to make sure that the Department of Education understands that the responsibility for making sure that official communication gets through to these students is incumbent partly on the Department of Education, I think, too. It can't be just a pull. It has to be, I think I didn't see, Bradley, tell me if I'm wrong, an unwillingness to try to figure this out. It was sort of like, what do you mean they can't get that? Like, they can't log in? They can't, what? I mean, even to the simplest fact that the only phone number you can call is an 800 number, and most people inside can't call 800 numbers. That was shocking to them. And so just displaying some, again, we're trying to keep it focused so that if you tell them to fix the world's problems, nothing will get done. But if you give them some strong focus areas to move forward, we're trying to crystallize some of that right now. And just the fact that these people had not heard of these problems before at the top levels it meant this was just a golden opportunity. And I know I'm very grateful that it got arranged.
Question. So you say that you're still kind of, thinking of this list of the barriers and things like that. When should we get that information to you? Like, I'm aware of certain barriers. I know everybody on this call is probably aware of certain barriers. I'm sure that a lot of them are the same, but to be able to get that information to you, and then what's your next steps with meeting with DOE?
So our next step is to put together a letter with some of our ideas in it, sort of boiled down from our conversation, and also drawing on any insights that you share us. I think we have there's no event that is happening in the next 2 weeks or something that's pushing us to do this, but we just want to get it done. So I think in the next week, we're going to try to start working on this letter. I'm going to drop my email in the chat right now for you to do that. And we're happy to take anybody's insights and suggestions to put in the letter. And I think that's our next step.
Okay. Give us your target date to get information to you.
End of the week.
Again, we all work better with,
Friday.
Friday.
End of the week.
Okay.
And I'll make sure everybody who's on that, who are working on this letter, knows that we can expect maybe through the end of this week ideas coming through. That'll be helpful. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Bradley. Anybody else have anything, any updates, anything that they want to share or update us on? And again, we will be sending out all of this to everybody and also a link to the recording. Sheila, did you have anything else?
No, I'm just, again, very appreciative that Bradley set this up because I think it exposed a communication channel that's critical and hasn't been mined yet.
Okay. Margaret, what about you? Anybody else have any updates on their organizational work that they're doing that they want to share? Anything that we can help support, prop up? Aaron, Stephanie, Satra, Shannon? Just
I
throwing it out
have
there.
one thing. So I have one thing. We're creating a consortium of schools and universities in Milwaukee to put together one degree that these different schools can work on to offer somebody inside instead of each school trying to offer their own degree, which is more resource intensive. So if anyone has any feedback or any place they know had done something like this, that would be really helpful going forward. So, and this is, I know there's a precedent set for schools offering this to people who are free, but for specifically a variety of schools working together to offer 1 degree to people that are inside, I think that might be new, but if it's not, I'd love to know more about, who I can talk to and get some feedback on that.
Hey, Shannon, it's Margaret at Vera. Are you guys thinking about like a degree, like an associate's degree for transfer that would be recognized by a range of colleges across the state, or something more specific?
So we have a variety of different players right now. We have the Pell Pilot program has been occupied entirely by MATC, the Milwaukee Area Technical College in Wisconsin. And there recently were 3 more schools that just got money in the second round, or it might have been the third round of Pell Pilot allotment. And so they have an associate's degree that people inside can get entirely through MATC at most prisons, not every one of them. So building on top of that, we want to use different schools that have 4-year degrees, because MATC is pretty much all 2-year associates, to start offering 1 or maybe 2, or however that looks. It's pretty flexible right now, bachelor's degrees, 4-year degrees. So that would be like, the premise would be set on MATC's associates, which is entirely already has an apparatus to make that doable inside. But then how do we build that out so that people can pursue that when they get out, or even when they're in, to get a 4-year degree? And what does that look like? What are they offering? So there's a lot of questions that I'm not really sure where to go.
I'm not sure if that's similar to the California system, but out here, a lot of individuals like myself, I went through and earned an associate's degree while I was incarcerated. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather. And then I came home and earned a bachelor's degree. And we're currently in the process of partnering. When I say we, I'm talking about Project Rebound, specifically Cal Poly Humboldt, or partnering with College of the Redwoods, so individuals can go through and earn an associate's degree from College of the Redwoods, and while still incarcerated or after they come home, they can earn a bachelor's degree through Cal Poly Humboldt. I don't know if the way we're doing that would be helpful to you, but if it is, I put my email address in the chat.
Thank you. I'm taking these down. I'm going to contact you. I appreciate that.
That's great. Thank you, everybody.
Shannon,
Jonathan?
Shannon, it's Aaron. I have a quick question. Who are y'all thinking would be like the conferring institution? So
Yeah,
there
that
are,
has to be figured out.
okay, because I'm thinking if we
that's
look
another
even
question.
at like Sheila's program, so Sheila works with not only Raritan Valley instructors, but Princeton instructors, et cetera, et cetera. So there is this collaborative effort, and the students that come out of her program have Raritan Valley credentials. And so is that the kind of model that you're looking for?
So my fellowship is paid through Marquette University, and that's who I'm building this out with. But I'm told that they don't want to be the one to be the conferring university for this, but it might be still an option if it's kind of presented as you're the best route for it. I mean, who knows? Things change. But it's like at this stage, there's nobody stepping up and there's nobody stepping back. So I really am open to suggestions there. I have to kind of talk to them. I think it's going to be dependent on what the associate's degree is going to be. I mean, my fault, what the bachelor's would be until we know which one would be open. So there's a lot of questions really how we build this out.
Okay.
Shannon, are you the point person for kind of, if anybody has resources or they want to connect, are you the, I guess, the unofficial or official convener of this consortium you're trying to pull together?
I feel comfortable saying yes. So yeah.
Probably Margaret and her team have the most experience or the broadest exposure to what different programs and different consortium models are being used across the country. I would think with Vera. Raritan has one kind of model we have in the state of New Jersey. There's the Hudson Link kind of model, which is a little different. There's California, but there are a lot of models that exist. Some states have multiple degree conferring institutions. Some have a single, but some of the Vera experiences they've pulled together an awful lot of data about different models, right, Margaret?
Yeah, sorry. I wrote Shannon through a direct chat that we'd be
Yeah,
happy
I was looking at it.
happy to
Appreciate
talk
it.
and would love to learn, what you're seeing and share what we're seeing with some of the other Wisconsin colleges and the DOC.
No, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Jonathan, any updates from what's going on in Florida?
I mean, Florida's a mess as always, but we do the best we can with what we do. I have a project I'm working on to build a learning management system for banning the box in higher ed. If anyone wants to volunteer to help build out some content, I'm working on it with Noel Vest.
Have you connected yet with Operation Restaurant? Satra's on the call. I think Satra's still with us.
We've been trying to connect and we keep missing each other.
Okay.
So we've been trying this for weeks, but
okay.
I think I'll get it soon.
I can help facilitate that too.
So we have small stipends available if you need that. If not, we're looking for people to help develop content regarding to state-specific policies on banning the box. If this is going to be video content, general advocacy training, things like that. We're going to be building it out. We bought banthebox.org and we'll be building it out there. It's not going to be a organization specific. So while, Florida Justice Center got a small grant to do this, it's not going to be branded Florida Justice Center. Any organization that participates will be, getting a stake in it and being on the page. So anyone that wants to help out, I could use some help on that.
Jonathan, there's an impacted woman in Missouri, Jessica Hicklin. While she was incarcerated, she actually built an entire LMS because she taught herself to code. And so she's writing hopefully still writing a chapter for a book that I'm editing. So I'm happy to put you in touch.
That would be great. I appreciate it.
That's great, Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah, right now, Noel and I have built out kind of the framework of what it'll look like and the content we need. It's just finding the experts that have done the work to train other people rather than, just doing it ourselves and having us do it. We want the people that have actually done it to do the training.
That's great. Thank you.
Jonathan, also, if you can ask Noel to tell you about Saya. He's on the advisory board with us on this different project, so that might be useful as well.
I'm sorry, you cut out to ask him about what?
Saya, SIA, Saya Precision Education. Ask him about that if that would be useful to what you're doing, because he's on the advisory board for that. It seems like it'd be connected.
All right, thanks.
Jonathan, there was this weekend, they had the Black Future Week tech conference from Dreamports, and there were a lot of savvy tech educated people there. So I have a couple of names that I can also throw out to you if you're interested.
Thanks. And swing back by the office sometime. It was great having you here before.
Yes, definitely.
I love it. Aaron, do you have any updates, anything that we can help support you on? What's going on with you?
No, I'm just getting ready to be back inside this semester.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any updates? Well, good. Y'all didn't make me hear crickets.
I was just gonna almost introduce myself as well to everyone. The LMS conversation kind of struck that for me, but I work for Emilio and we have built out a learning management system to support post-secondary programming within institutions that also has asynchronous resources, programming support, partnerships like JSTOR, et cetera. And kind of the initiative and mission of Emilio is to kind of go away from the companies such as JPay, Securus, GTEL, and their sort of monopolization within the field and the technology they provide. So creating just a more ethical and equitable access to education. If anyone ever has any questions or wants to reach out to me, we're working a lot to make partnerships with departments, but also educators and better support them in the implementation of programs. So just kind of wanted to flag that for anyone in case there's conversations going around in that regard.
That's great. Thank you.
I'll just add something real quick. I'm not sure because I'm filling in for Tony Wallen, who's the program coordinator today. So I'm not sure how much he's filled you in on the work we're doing in California, but just briefly, Cal Poly Humboldt, which is a chapter of Project Rebound of 9 other chapters, I think. We're about to start delivering services in Pelican Bay State Prison, which is the only super maximum security prison in the state. So there's a little bit different dynamics when you're going into that prison is a little different than other prisons in the state of California. But as we're going in, we are trying to ensure that the students there are getting as close to the same experience as someone who's on a campus is getting, and at least equivalent resources. We know that's next to impossible, but nevertheless, we're going to try to do that. So anyone who has some advice in that realm would be highly appreciated. We'll also be going into Hot Desert State Prison, which is another maximum security prison, and we should be starting in mid-2023. And as you all know, there's a lot of moving pieces when you're trying to get a college program into a prison system. So we're trying to figure all those things out simultaneously. So when we do start, that we start in the most efficacious manner possible.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay. So I've been taking notes, and like I said, I'll capture all of this and send it out to everybody along with the link to the recording. But I think that the other thing, this also kind of brought to mind that maybe we need to rethink some of the committees, some of the work, so that we can focus more on promoting cross collaborations. We can foster those. We can share resources through the Unlock Higher Ed website. And then certainly as things develop with the Department of Education, we start getting feedback and we start moving towards Pell and reinstatement and what does that look like, and messengers and messages and all of that, then the work is really going to pick up and we're going to need everybody. But right now, so I'm going to send a survey out to everybody by the end of the week, just kind of soliciting your thoughts and your ideas about the organizational structure as we move forward. We are in an interesting place because we still support obviously Ban the Box, and there's a lot of movement with that, and our partners at OR are taking the lead on that while we focus on Pell restoration, implementation, accountability, the language issue. I mean, all of the things that that are sort of like those next steps. So I will be sending that survey out by the end of the week to everybody, and really would like it if you would just take 3 to 5 minutes and just send it back, give us your ideas. How do you and your organization want to be involved with Unlock Higher Ed? Because as we start building out this organizational structure and we start operationalizing the things that we're doing, we want to make sure that it's inclusive, that it is reflective of everybody's voice and needs, and that we can meet those needs and that as we move forward. So look for that by the end of the week from me. And then how you get involved, how you want to get involved organizationally, individually. Again, shameless plug for me, please, 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 because I want to work with you, but also we have a lot of work ahead of us. And I know that in your states, you're also doing a lot of heavy lifting. And so this is a group to help support what you're doing and to bring together those possible collaborations to get people talking. So, Jonathan, I will connect you. I'll make sure you get connected to OR. I mean, and again, that's what we want to be able to do, is bring voices and people together. Does anybody have any upcoming events or anything that you want to shamelessly plug? This is the place. I should name this the Shameless Unlock Higher Ed. Any internship opportunities, volunteer opportunities, or job opportunities, because we're going to be looking to promote those as well. Nothing? Crickets?
Hudson Link is hiring for several positions. I was just trying to get the link ready for the chat, but yeah, we're hiring a development and communications person, an academic coordinator at one of our sites, an IT coordinator, and a continuing education person to help when people come home to continue. So a couple of those are brand new positions. So we've got a few openings right now. So I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, if you can send that link, we will connect that on the website, and Margaret will do the same thing with Vera. If you have any job openings, we'll post them on that site, on the Unlock Higher Ed site. And so please feel free to, as something comes up, just shoot me an email, let me know. We'll plug it in and we'll push it out. We're also going to be doing an Unlock Higher Ed newsletter. It will not be this long, voluminous thing that you have to read, but it will be an opportunity if something comes up in the interim between meetings that you have information to share. It will go out on the first of the month. So it'll always go out right after our meeting. And it'll be another opportunity to share what happened in the meeting, what's coming up, and another way of keeping everybody engaged, because I do know that an hour out of your day, when you have so much to do, sometimes you can make it, sometimes you can't. And I want to make sure that everybody stays connected and informed. Is there anything else that anybody wants to discuss, promote, share, complain about? I was going to say the B word, but complain about? Nothing? I love you all. So with that, I'm going to actually give you 18 minutes of your day back. I'm going to go to the pool while the sun's out before whatever's going to hit Louisiana, and pray to God that my flight doesn't get canceled tomorrow and that I can actually get back to Maryland. Everybody, thank you so much. And like I said, we will make sure that we get all of this out to you. Anything that you need from us, let us know, and we will share and we will promote it. And thank you all so much for joining. Thanks, everybody. Hey, Odell. You're on mute. Still on mute.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, so I'm just kind of coming into this conversation, and I'm just so today I had a few things to say, but I just kind of wanted to just observe and kind of see what the focus of this platform is about. And so as a newcomer, I'm just observing. So, but but I think it's all, you know, in the same vein of everybody's moving in the same direction and supporting Pell students, and certainly I am as well here in Arkansas. But you know, the hardest thing about down here in Arkansas
Is that
and
it's
in the
Arkansas?
South, it is Arkansas.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that. Could not
Yeah,
resist.
you know, I mean, the Department of Corrections won't even allow us into the facility to do the things that, you know, to support Pell Grant students. Even though there are 2 HBCUs that are now moving into the prison system, but like I shared with you before, our focus is around public health for Pell Grant students,
right?
And that consists of, you know, comorbidity. I mean, it's going to be a lot of different health issues that we are trying to address, you know, because we believe that health is going to be a huge part of their success, you know, when they, you know, doing education. So I would like to probably talk more about that maybe the next time we get together. And also,
I'll send you my Calendly link and set up a time. Odell, what's your email address real quick?
It's ojohnson4@uams.edu.
ojohnson4 at
ojohnson4@uams.edu.
Okay, I'm going to send you my Calendly link. And because I know that you brought up the health thing at the last meeting and also raised the importance of the mental health piece. And the steering committee, we did talk about that. And so I want to make sure that's included, but I want to get more information from you. So I'm glad you were on today's call. I will send you my Calendly link, and let's set up that time that we can talk about what's happening in Arkansas and how Unlock Higher Ed and our partners can support you, but also, you know, what you envision as the public health, mental health component piece, because that might be something that we should also be adding, you know, as a specific focus for us.
Okay, this sounds great. That sounds wonderful. I would love to have that conversation with you. So definitely send me the calendar invite.
I will absolutely do that, Odell. Let's talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.